look, it's dog Karen. Oh no, she's not happy. Okay.
Sometimes she gets really enchanted by hands.
Dog is weird.
You can tell it's Hunter's dog, look. Trained her to kill already. Like, look at that, yeah. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. I'm your host for today, Ethan, and joining me, as always, are my good friends, Cal and Hunter. Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hi. Oh, I'm doing just swell.
You know, I almost lost it there for a second. It's like, I was like, am I on a podcast? I was like, hey, how's it? I'm like, whoa. You know, I feel like it's like
we're trying to process speech.
Yeah, how many episodes? We're 117 episodes in, and I feel like I'm still struggling with even the most basic, like, concepts of podcasting, like how to speak words. Like, how does that even work?
I feel by far we struggle with ending the podcast way more often.
True. I bet literally every single person that's listened to the podcast in the past couple of weeks are like, wow, they've really been going on for those 2-hour episodes, and those last 20 minutes are very much them trying to end it. But no, it's good to be here. It's good to finally be talking about game mess and all of that, Key 3, whatever you want to call it. We're going to do a bit of a roundup this week, and then we're also going to talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in the Final Fantasy VII event, which will be the main thing that we'll talk about later. Because finally something's happened in the video game industry in the year of our Lord 2022 that finally all of us give a shit about. It's like a miracle. It's like, hey, even if Kyle doesn't like the gameplay that much of Final Fantasy VII Remake, he can at least get behind the fucking bullshit wacky ride that Nomura is setting us up for.
Two.
Yeah, exactly. So we're all excited.
If
we're
nothing else,
about
you can have me share play it for you again.
You know, if I could ever find a PS5, yeah.
That'd be cute. Yeah. That'd be cool. If you can share play between PS4 and 5, so I think you could actually even watch him from your PS4, from the comfort of your PS4. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think you could. Yeah. But that'd be cute. It'd be like a little event, just like everybody gathered around watching Hunter. That'd be funny. But no, we're going to talk all about it in a little bit because, as you can tell, we're all excited. And I'm sure you guys are too. But first, we're going to have to get through what was E3, not E3 2022. We're not going
to. That's what it was.
It was a mixed bag, but we'll get all the way through it. We're going to go through some of the bets this week. We're not going to go through all of them because Nintendo still hasn't shown up. We will the cutoff date is the end of June. There's that rumored end of June direct that Alana Pierce leaked. So we'll wait for that to see if that happens or not. And if it doesn't,
Santa Monica's Alana Pierce leaks Nintendo Direct.
That was such a weird. Like, just say Alana Pierce.
What a headline.
You don't have to include. Alana's a big enough name to just say Alana Pierce. You don't have to say it's where we're not going to get into that.
It was super strange, but
regardless,
very amusing to read. If
the direct doesn't happen, those bets that we place will be null and void. And then when our direct does come up, we'll do a new set of fresh bets based on everything that happened at Game Mess and stuff like that. So we'll leave it at that for now. But yeah. Bit of housekeeping. Thank you to everybody listening on audio podcasts. You showed up last week because, my God, we had the second biggest week ever on podcast services. Don't know who you were. I don't know the 5 of you who decided to listen to our entire back catalogue or whatever the hell happened. Thank you. We appreciate it. And continue to support us on audio podcasts. We're on everything. Just search for Hot Gamers Only. And we do appreciate each and every one of you. And hey, if you want to contact the show, hotgamersonly@gmail.com. As for you video listeners, come on back. Please.
Try
YouTube algorithm. The YouTube algorithm actually destroyed last week's episode. It wasn't the episode itself. It's just YouTube did not like it. So if you did not get it, it didn't show up in my subscription feed. That's how bad the algorithm treated that. So if you were one of the people that didn't get it in your sub feed or you didn't notice it, it wasn't in your recommended, there was an episode last week. It's a very good one. Go and catch it. Because the YouTube algorithm, we tried changing the title and the thumbnail. I tried half a dozen times and YouTube spat it back out each and every time. The current one that it's on kind of helped it a little bit, but not great. So if you can go back and watch that episode, we greatly appreciate it. It's about emotional moments in games. It's pretty good. So yeah, go check that one out. But with all that out of the way, let's talk about Game Mess, Key 3, whatever we're going to call it. I feel like the industry has settled on Key 3. I noticed that GameSpot had Key 3 t-shirts on while they were there. And I was like,
of course they did.
Like, I know it was low-hanging for fruit, right? I know that it was like a very easy joke for anybody to make, but it was the fact that when I saw everybody walking around in Key 3 shirts, I was like, we said Key 3. I was like, I'm butthurt. It was a really low-hanging fruit that anyone could have come up with, but we said it. What the hell? But that's just the kind of person I am. So let's just round table it. What were your overall thoughts on what we saw from Game Mess? We'll count the Final Fantasy event in there, because it is in that time frame. But overall, what did you think, Kyle? As the resident non-current game player, what were your thoughts on Key 3?
It sure was a thing that happened.
I said it to you. I don't know why I build my hopes up every time for something different. Like, it's like every
I don't know
time
why you do that either.
we watch these things, we get disappointed, and the next one shows up and I'm like, lessons will have been learned. This is going to be good, guys. I have a good feeling. Disappointment every time.
The lessons nobody learned.
So if we're talking about all of it as a whole, I think it's better than, like, if we were to section it off into like the three things being like or a couple of things being like Keighly's actual showcase versus the Xbox thing versus the Final Fantasy announcements, then I think Keighly's show was like the bottom of the rung there.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to say the best for a second. I was like, I know you're a PlayStation fan, Hunter, but that's reaching, dude.
No, not a chance.
That's like a PlayStation mold right there. Because, like, yeah, in terms of the hierarchy, right?
That's the super copium.
That Final Fantasy VII event was like, that was the pinnacle for me of best 10 minutes, because it was like only 10 minutes and there was some good shit in there, right? Especially compared to Square Enix's attempt last year, lest us forget, with that fucking tragedy.
Half an hour of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, exactly. We got something good.
Showing us what Babylon's Fall was going to be.
Yeah, it was real rough. So that was good, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of the two big events that we had, I'm not counting PC gaming, because I'm not going to lie to you guys. I didn't watch PC gaming.
I didn't even know that happened.
And Capcom was just showing off a lot of stuff that they'd already shown, which is good stuff, don't get me wrong, because Capcom does some great stuff, but it was all stuff that we knew about, or it was DLC for things that we already have in our hands today. So in terms of the two main shows, Xbox was by far and away the better show.
Yeah.
And I will say, I will hand it to Phil and I'll hand it to the team that is probably one of, if not, Xbox's best attempt at a show that they've probably done, and it's because they decided to chuck the CG trailers out the window and show games that are coming out in the next 12 months, and I think that was a great idea. It means that, yes, some games weren't going to hit, and trust me, there were plenty of games in there that didn't do anything for me, but
yeah,
at least it's coming out in the next 12 months, and they're not doing the Xbox classic of, look, it's Fable, it's coming out in 2027, but there you go, look at that logo, and it's like,
yeah, I think
come the fuck on.
For the past while, like, since I've been paying attention to the Xbox shows, I think, like, at least since the 2018 show, that they had a bunch of other things pop off, because that was when PlayStation just decided they were only showing the 4 things, so all the third-party stuff migrated.
That PlayStation show that was so rough.
Oh, yeah. That was rough. I passed out halfway through it because I had to work the next day. But, yeah, so that was the last Xbox show I remember being super impressed with. And I think this one's probably the best one they've done since then.
Definitely. It was, like I say, it was just refreshing for them to be like, yeah, straight up, these are the games coming out in the next 12 months. We're not going to talk about Avowed. We're not going to talk about, any other game, the Fable. We're not going to talk about even Hellblade, which, to be honest, I'm surprised Hellblade isn't coming out in the next 12 months. Honestly shocked by that one. I genuinely thought that game should be done at this stage. It's been going on for so long. That was the one shocker where I'm like, really? We're not going to get that till like late next year? That's crazy.
I know that for I don't know why, but I felt like it wasn't going to be there. I'm like, Like, for some reason, I wouldn't even be shocked if it didn't come out next year.
It's just, it's like, it's almost, and I hate to make this comparison, it's almost the Shin Megami Tensei 5 of the Xbox reveal events. And what I mean by that is what they've been showing Hellblade ever before the Series X was out, because they were like, this is next gen. This is what next gen is capable of. And it's the same with Switch. Shin Megami Tensei 5 showed up at the Switch reveal event, and then it came out 5 years later. And I feel like at this rate, as we're going, Hellblade's going to be in a similar situation where it's just very weird. Where And I think Xbox has had that problem. And don't get me wrong, Sony has had this problem before, and they had in the latter half of the generation for the PS4 really showed this, where they played their hand too early, where we knew every Sony exclusive coming out for 4 years until The Last of Us came out.
It was silly.
And it's ridiculous. And we're that way with Xbox. We know that Perfect Dark's coming out. We know that Avowed's coming out. We know that Fable's coming out. We know all of these games, but they're so far off that we can't give a shit about them because we know we're not going to see them for years. So to have them be like, hey, Forza's coming early next year. Starfield's coming in the first half of 2023. Redfall, even though I don't care about it personally, coming in the first half of 2023. And here's a bunch of third-party games that are also going to show up and be on Game Pass day one, or free to play. You know, so they had Overwatch, they had Diablo. Say what you want about Blizzard, but you know, they had them. You can make your decisions on that. But it's like they had the stuff. At least they tried. So it's like I give them that. They tried. Let's get to Jeff Keighly, though. Let's start with fucking Keighly's press conference of boredom and space. Because
oh my God. There were so many space third-person shooter.
Do you think that there's something about
games in general?
Is there something about COVID that just made everybody internally just go, let's make Dead Space? Because I don't know.
I feel like, except for Callisto Protocol, obviously, because that was revealed before there was an overwhelming amount of rumors for Dead Space Remake.
Well, Callisto Protocol was announced before Dead Space Remake got announced.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it was announced before I think there were even rumors for it. Really.
Yeah, I give fair play to Callisto Protocol. Yeah, I'll allow that.
It was also by far all of them. It was the best thing at Keighly's show, in my opinion.
I don't even remember what was at Keighly's show, to be honest, but I do remember.
Same.
It is. Callisto Protocol is a very interesting one because obviously it's got the original Dead Space creator behind it. Well, one of the original creators of Dead Space.
It's got a bunch of the original minds in the Visceral team there.
Yeah. So you got a lot of them there, and it's being published by the PUBG people, so they've got the PUBG backing behind it. So there's a lot of money going into this game. So you know it's a very high quality game. It's just very weird that it's like, oh yeah, we got a really high budget AAA horror game coming out in December. I'm like, that's such a weird thing to me, where I'm like, really, out of all the games to not get pushed, and trust me, I don't want it to get pushed because I think it's in a good spot.
No.
But it's just kind of weird where I'm like, okay, this got pushed and this got pushed, and we still are not sure if God of War coming out. But Callisto Protocol looks like it's going to make it.
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty far along. I'll be like, I wouldn't December release dates just instill a natural sort of pessimism in me where I'm like, I wouldn't be shocked if it got pushed.
But it's also the date where I always look at that date and go, it's never going to make it. But then they do.
Yeah.
Xenoblade 2, I think everybody laughed when they said 2017 because everyone was like, Xenoblade 1 took fucking forever to come out. There's no chance that 2 is going to come out in the same year it was announced. And it's like, it did. It came out in December. It hit that date. Smash Ultimate, I was for sure that game was going to get pushed. Because December 7th is such a weird date to release a Smash Bros. Game on. Came out, hit it. Yeah. So I have faith. I believe that Callisto will probably make it.
Yeah.
And like you say, it definitely was the highest quality
thing. They really want to, too. Because obviously they want to beat, the Dead Space remake to the market. They
want to beat all of these fucking Dead Space remakes to the market.
Okay, to be fair, I think they could be like a year late or like 6. They could come out at the same time as any of these other ones, and I think Callisto Protocol would be the one that people gravitate towards because it's.
I think it's smart getting out before Dead Space remake, though. I feel like that is truly the way to go, and I feel like they're gonna run. I think it's gonna be close to the wire, but I do feel that if Dead Space got pushed, I feel like there'd be a higher chance for Callisto to get pushed.
Yeah.
I just think it's playing chicken. They don't want to come out after because people won't have the Dead Space itch.
It's like the remember when we were wondering when each of the consoles were going to talk about their next version?
Yeah. It's chicken. Yeah. But that was easy because Xbox came out Game Award, like we at least knew the Series X, where PlayStation 5 was like maybe not, who knows. Here's Mark Cerny talking on a virtual pedestal for 45 minutes about teraflops. It's like, okay, very weird, but no, it was definitely It was definitely a good showing. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely some stuff at Jeff Keighley's event where I was like, okay, there's some interesting stuff there. Like, say what you want about that other Dead Space video game, but
the one with Troy Baker,
what was it called? Fort Solace.
Yeah, Fort Solace.
Fort Solace.
Yeah, I was mildly interested in that one, probably because it was the second one shown. So I was like, so the fatigue of, oh my god, spooky space game hadn't quite set in yet.
That plus
it's got Troy Baker and Roger
Clark,
cool.
who is fantastic, and also because it's an indie game, so it's a small team. And the fact that they're doing is, I was listening to Play Watch Listen, and Troy Baker was talking about this, how it's a small team who's basically gone, Unreal Engine 5 basically gives indie developers a load of tools to make things look really AAA and high quality, but it also gives them the time to just consolidate and go with a really simple premise and gameplay loop and just nail it, because the visuals can kind of just do themselves. They don't have to spend as much time on it. So I think the idea of, again, a kind of horror, kind of environmental horror kind of game that's like, I think Troy Baker said it was like only going to be like 5 to 6 hours. I feel like that game's going to have a market when it comes out. I feel like people will gravitate towards that.
Yeah, not to mention, like, who knows when it's actually going to come out,
Probably, if it comes out next year, it'll probably be near the end, so there'll be plenty of a gap between the Dead Space little cluster in the December and January.
There'd be plenty, not even that, like, there'd be plenty of a gap just between that and, like, the whole kind of horror game palooza we got going on in the stretch of months between Callisto Protocol and the Resi 4 remake.
I don't know what it is about horror, but we genuinely do have this little cluster of nothing but horror games coming out, which is weird because horror games, they always sell relatively well, but usually it's these one or maybe two at a stretch AAA horror games that come out a year, and then it's scattered with indie things that kind of fill the genre in for the rest of the year.
Indie things that fill the gaps, and then a bunch of imitator indie things that struggle to get the same kind of traction. Yeah.
But the fact that we're going into 2023 and the end of 2022, and there genuinely might be half a dozen or more AAA horror games coming out in a year to me is like fucking nutty. Fair play, but like that's one of my big criticisms of Jeff Keighley's event, was far too much of the same. There was no variety in the show. It was just space, 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 horror, horror, horror. Even when there wasn't space anymore, there was still horror. Even when there wasn't horror anymore, there was still fucking space. It was like, can't we have some variety, please?
And then other things just went on for way too long, like that Call of Duty demo.
Call of Duty campaigns haven't been interesting or kind of, what's the word that I'm looking for? They haven't been like showstoppers. Like they haven't been like unique or anything like appealing, worth watching, appealing wise for years. So why the fuck they decided to do a massive gameplay showcase of it in a conference? It's like, this shit was boring in 2012. Never mind in 2022.
Yeah.
People that play COD campaigns just do it in a couple of days on the weekend just because they want to play a blockbuster and just have some no brain required popcorn fun. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No one wants to sit there going, oh, you know what I really want to watch? I want to watch 5 minutes of people walking slowly around an oil rig. Thank you, Jeff. Very cool. Like, no, it was awful. Very bad.
I feel like all of Jeff's shows, this Key 3 and Game Awards, I just feel like pacing is his biggest issue that he always runs into.
100%. Yeah. I feel like Keighly's in a place where he wants to say yes to as many people as he wants. But the problem with that is saying yes to everybody means there's no quality control in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do that. And I feel like he's getting to the point now where Keighly, you can say no without feeling like you're going to ruin a relationship or
you could say no and maybe just hold on to that for one of your other ones.
Especially, like I say, he has
you've
3
got
shows
3
a year.
of them now.
He has this one.
3 of them?
He has Summer Game Fest. He has Opening Night Live, and then Game Awards.
Yeah,
you don't need.
Maybe he could kind of spread it around a little bit more. That way, you're not just spitting through 7 Game Awards categories at once.
Pacing has always been
Game Awards aren't 4 hours long.
Yeah.
They've always been his issue, and it's like this show as well. It's like it genuinely is where it's like it's quality, and it's just all over the place. Say what you want about the Xbox show. There was consistency. It was game with gameplay, next game with gameplay. Nothing really over 3 minutes,
really
except
just
Redfall and
fire.
Starfield, which definitely should have been shorter than they were. Especially Redfall.
Was like
at
the
least
end
Starfield
of the show, so you could just tune out when you got bored.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, fair enough. Whereas Keighly, you've got all this weird stuff where it's like, okay, you've got this 5-minute gameplay of Call of Duty. Then you've got this Callisto Protocol trailer. Then we're going to show more Callisto Protocol after talking to them. Then we're going to go and show another 2 games that look like the Callisto Protocol. Then we're going to play a Fall Guys ad. And it's like... Even though I liked the Fall Guys ad, it was very... I thought the idea of the CG beans were quite entertaining. I did like it, right? Like, I did like watching fucking Valkyrie turn into a jelly bean. Very funny. But at the same time, like, it doesn't feel like it fits. This feels like a trailer that's meant for TV or in like a YouTube
It sure
ad.
did look like the kind of thing that I would imagine just seeing in between, like, watching something on, like, Cartoon Network or something.
A YouTube ad for it. Yeah, it was like, it didn't feel like it had its place. And it's like, it makes everything a lot more forgettable when it's like, it's just a lot of nonsensical long ads. Like can we talk about fucking Dwayne Johnson? Can we talk about that?
Oh my god, yeah. I've never been less entertained by listening to The Rock talk than then.
I just imagine saying, hey, Dwayne, Dwayne, can I call you Dwayne? Okay, yeah, Dwayne.
Mr. The Rock.
You're really big in Fortnite, and he's like, yeah, I play the Foundation. He's like, yeah, well, very cool, Dwayne. Yeah, you play Foundation. You're very cool. Do you want to come talk about Fortnite? And he's like, no, I have energy drinks and a movie to sell.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I was expecting him to say something like, look, Fortnite's got an event coming up and I'm in it. Not for him to show up and go, sup gamers, drink my G Fuel, watch my movie, enjoy your gaming, peace out. Like, by the way, I'm going to do this in my gym because I can't be fucked to do this when I have actual shit to be doing. Have fun, guys. It was so stupid. It was like, Jeff, you've been doing this long enough that you don't need stupid celebrity cameos to feel like it's justified or validate your conference. You don't need it. You don't need enjoy your gaming. You genuinely don't. It was so batshit stupid. Like I say, it was ludicrous. Anyway, Hunter, list off some other things. What else happened at the show? Because I genuinely don't remember.
Alright, so some of the things that stood out to me that I liked was there was this one called Midnight Fight Express, which was this isometric kind of beat 'em up. It seemed to have a bunch of cool environmental happenings going on, like you could toss people into a subway going by and stuff like that. So that's slated to come out in August. So that's cool. That seems like something I might be interested in. What else do they have?
August is definitely shaping up to be a month with games.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have August and we have October, and that's literally it. And then Callisto Protocol in December.
There are the games again. February's finally.
I remember at the start of this year saying, I don't know if I'm going to pick up Saints Row because I feel like this year's going to be super busy. And now I'm looking at it and I'm like, fuck, you're going to make me pick up Saints Row, aren't you? Because literally I'm like, oh, well, Max Millman's playing you can choose his voice or I can choose Eric Lindbeck. I guess that's a big enough selling point for me to buy it now. I'm like, God damn it. What is gaming in this year?
Yeah. Saints Row got another trailer. I feel like that game, whatever its actual quality may contain, they don't do a good job of showing it off.
I am hoping that Saints Row is the Free Guy of video games. And what I mean by that is Free Guy had what might possibly be the worst trailers for a movie I have ever seen in my life. They are awful. They are horrendous. And then I watched the film and I went, what the fuck? This was actually good. Like, not even ironically good. I was like, I had a good time with Free Guy. Very fun film. That's what I'm hoping Saints Row is, where all these trailers are shit, but when I play the game, I'm like, no, actually, this is Saints Row, and it's really fun, and the wingsuit's a cool mechanic, and I feel like they've justified bringing the series back. That's what my hope is. Yeah. I'm not very confident on that hope. But
it's hard to tell because, like, I don't know, people who have previewed it said that they liked it fine, but the things that they've been showing us haven't been great showcases of it.
It's also like, it's like where
saying?
to draw the line. They've taken a step back from what Saints Row 3 and 4 were, and they're trying to find this balance, and I'm like, it's a hard tightrope, and especially with how the world is right now, if I was them, I probably would have just gone all in and make another Saints Row 3, and just go with it and ride that wave, and see what happens, instead of going, okay, let's do a reboot and bring it back. I would have genuinely just gone all in with it and see what happens. But, that's just me. I feel like generic open world games are a dime a dozen, and what made Saints Row unique was the fact that many scenes had to get banned in Australia. It was so stupid that it got banned, and their censorship for the banning was them putting up a fucking JPEG saying, "Uh-oh, Australians, this has been banned for you."
Oh man, that's
God.
hilarious.
Like that kind of shit. This the probing scene in South Park. It's like those kind of scenes that get banned. And it's like, I just feel like Saints Row just being an open world game wouldn't do it much. I feel like we need to see it.
Yeah, another game that they are not good at showing anything of, despite what may or may not be there quality-wise. Gotham Knights is showing off again here.
Come on, Gotham Knights. I'm rooting for you. I am genuinely rooting for you. If you want to know the bet, Ethan's hype with Gotham Knights will die. It hasn't died, but at the same time,
it was exactly what I said. I was like, it will survive, but not increase.
I just don't get it. I genuinely don't. And that game's out in October. We'll see.
Yeah. Here's one to twist the knife to me. Instead of Silent Hill, Team Bloober Team. Not even a licensed game. It was, or some other new horror game hoopla. It was Layers of Fear 3.
Layers of Fears?
Layers of Fears, yeah.
Awful name, dude. Awful
name.
It's an awful one, especially after you've already made a 2. Like, fair enough if you want to just pluralize it for your sequel or whatever.
Someone genuinely looked at Silent Hills and went, we can do that. Layers of Fears.
I'm pretty sure that's what gave birth to Layers of Fear in the first place.
True.
It was PT, but this isn't on the list that I picked up or that I'm looking at for some reason, but that Doom rhythm game that has like actual music musicians in it. Mm-hmm. I played the demo for that, and I like it quite a bit. I'll be interested to pick it up at some point after it comes out, because they've got a good selection of artists like Serge Tankian, or however you say his name, from System of a Down, Elisa Whiteguz from Arch Enemy and The Agonist, a bunch of cool heavy musicians with like tailor-made songs for the levels, and the gameplay is fun and Doom-esque, and despite me not being great at rhythm games, I did manage to do relatively respectably at this demo.
No.
So yeah, I'll be interested to pick that one up.
Fair enough. Was there anything else from Jeff Keighly's? I don't remember this event.
That was the last thing that I found interesting. People popped off for the Goat Simulator 3.
Was that in Jeff's?
Yeah.
Okay, I give a shout out to that for best name of the show. If Layers of Fears is the worst name of the show, Goat Simulator 3 being best name, because fucking that is the greatest idea for a meme game ever, to just skip 2 and go straight to 3 and have everybody search on Twitter for the second one. That is the greatest.
Apparently also they copied part of the
Dead Island 2 trailer.
Dead Island 2. I don't even remember what Dead Island 2's trailer looked like. It was the guy on the beach. Yeah. I should have clarified. I didn't remember until people were like, "Oh, it was this," and I'm like, "Oh, right, Dead Island 2."
So there was that.
Never came out.
And then there was the big leak. We can't forget about the big leak.
Oh yes, the show ended with The Last of Us remake.
Last of Us Part 1. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not paying for it.
In September. maybe I'll play that version the next time I feel like playing the first Last of Us.
Same. I feel like I can't justify paying $70, never mind £70 for it. Like, I genuinely can't. I love The Last of Us Part 1. It's great. Not great enough for me to pay that much money for it again. I'll buy it when it's cheaper. And I feel like
it'll probably be given to me for free on the PS Plus before I feel like playing it.
Same, probably. Yeah. Or it'll be one of those things where by the time it comes out, I'll be like, you know what, I'm ready to play through 1 and 2 together and do like back to back. And that's what that version is perfect for. This remake will be perfect for synergy, for being able to play Last of Us Part 1 and 2 as like a comprehensive, complete package that looks the exact same throughout. It'll be great, especially if the HBO show's shit, because then we can just play the game and it'll look like a TV show because it'll look like the same. Be great.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not paying for £70, especially when it doesn't have the multiplayer. It has nothing. It has Left Behind, but well done. Every fucker's played Left Behind. We all had remastered. Come on. Yeah. If anything, they should have included Part 2 as well. That's just my thing, is they should have just included, even if it was just the 60 FPS patch of the PS4 version on the disc.
Yeah,
they
should have done Last of Us Part 1
and 2.
1+2 collection or whatever.
Like they did with Uncharted.
Tony Hawk it.
Yeah, like they did with the Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection earlier this year. Should have just done that. But
Last of Us, the Firefly collection.
Yeah, something like that.
Stupid. Yeah.
1+2 combo pack, whatever you want to call it. You know, you do you. I won't judge.
Yeah, that kind of anything like that. I mean, to be fair to some of I saw the one like comparison shot that actually got me to go, I guess that does look respectable, was the comparisons between Tess. I'm like, oh yeah, she does look, middle-aged, and
they chose terrible They chose terrible screenshots to compare it to, because they were comparing
against like the
pre-rendered cutscenes.
Stuff.
Yeah, they should have shown the gameplay, because the actual comparisons to the gameplay and the in-game cutscenes, the ones that weren't pre-rendered, is genuinely like, I get why you're remaking it now. I get why you want this as a remake. Show those screenshots, not the ones of pre-rendered Joel and Ellie, because they're a bit harder to sell people on. But yeah. Overall, I don't want to even be fair to fucking Keighly. I've been fair to you before. I'm not being fair, dude. Fucking 4 out of 10, dude. Try harder, dude. Try harder.
Yeah, I didn't like this one. I'm honestly happy that I was watching it kind of in the corner of my vision at work for most of it.
Yeah.
Okay, and to answer... Here you go. To answer your bets for the Game Awards, the game show, the Summer Game Fest show, here you go. More than 5 buses from Cuphead DLC will be shown. No. Only 1 was shown. None of us bet on it anyway. Gotham Knights will die. My hype for Gotham Knights will die rather in the next trailer. Answer was no. Hunter said no. Kyle said yes. So Hunter got 3 points for that one. There will be over 10 swears in the Modern Warfare 2 footage. Hunter said no. The answer was no, so you get 2 points for that one. Well done, Hunter. I didn't get the exact number of swears, but it was less than 10, because I think there was less than 10 lines. Over 20 new costumes will be shown in the Fall Guys trailer. Kyle said no. I said yes. The answer was yes, because of that second trailer. If anyone wanted to know the number was more than 20. Fuck you, I ain't counting all that.
I was hoping that's where the punchline was going to be.
At least 4 games will be shown, will be retrades from either Sony or Xbox. Yes, it was over 4 games that were shown. So both myself and Hunter get points for that one. Will the Silent Hill speak up? Hunter put 5 points on yes, stay mad. Cal put 2 points on no, gets 4 points for that one. Well done. At least 5 world premieres should not be world premieres. Well done, you both get points for that one, yeah. 1 Pro League is real and people won't shut up about it. Cal put 5 points on no. Congratulations, Cal, you earn 25 points.
Hell yeah.
Hunter, you only put 1 in, so you only get 5. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, we've talked a lot about the Xbox show as a whole. I feel like we don't need to retread, but let's just quickly talk about some of the highlights from the Xbox show, Hunter, because there were quite a few games that showed up.
There
were interesting
games that Silk Song first showing since E3 2019.
Day one Game Pass as well, which is
that's what made a little shocking.
That's what made me happy, is because I have a Game Pass subscription till the end of 2024. So me sitting here looking at all these games that I don't have to pay for, I'm like, yes. Yeah. Welcome to the future. I don't care about a monopoly if I don't have to pay. Let's go. Silk Song, yes, please. I played the first 2 stages of Shredder's Revenge because I could. You know, it's just like that kind of
way
thing.
to go.
Thanks. I won't finish it, but there you go.
How was it?
It was an 80s arcade game,
Hell
which is probably a compliment if you like them.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Turtles in Time was good.
Yeah. So yeah, that got shown off. I'll be excited to play that whenever it comes out, because we still don't know. Plague Tale Requiem got shown, and that looks to be like it's going to be a healthy improvement on the first game. So I'm pleased. No date for that either, though they're still claiming that it's coming out this year.
I doubt it. I doubt that's coming out this year.
You see, I think I said, like, one of my own predictions in the betting episode was that it would choose September, but because at the time that was free, but a game like that coming out inside of the same month as a Last of Us remake probably wouldn't be great for it. So yeah,
I think November's in this weird space right now where only Pokemon's in there. Everybody's avoiding November, and I'm like, does everybody
understand why? Call of Duty's coming out in October now?
So Overwatch, why are they doing both of those in the same month? It's very weird. But I'm like, we're assuming God of War, if it's coming out this year, is coming out in November. So it's like, are people really that scared of God of War? I wouldn't be. You fuckers weren't scared of Elden Ring. Why are you scared of God of War?
Of a game that we don't know is actually, if it's actually coming.
You're basically giving them a bunch of free... I assume most people were avoiding Starfield season. And they had locked it in. And then Starfield went, whoop, see you next June.
Yeah. The next thing that I saw that was, they showed off a few things, like Flight Simulator getting Halo stuff, Overwatch 2 entering early access.
I want to talk about Overwatch 2 real quick, because that shit's funny, dude. Imagine waiting 3 years for 3 heroes and 6 maps, boys. Welcome to the future. If you want to know, if we had carried on with regular updates, that would have been 9 heroes and 9 maps. So, well done, boys. We really got a fucking update there. I don't know what to say, really. Where's my fucking story mode, you cowards? You promised. Is it still happening with the free-to-play model? I hope so, because that's all I cared about.
That would have been the thing that would have, I would have been interested in playing a Overwatch with a campaign, just because the world and characters seemed interesting enough. It'd be like, okay, once it's been out long enough to, cut the price in half, I'd be like, yeah, let's go.
I think they still are planning on it, so my assumption is now the free-to-play and the replayable PvE missions are going to all be in the free-to-play thing, and they're just going to work on... I'm hoping what they're planning on doing is taking their sweet time with the story mode, building it up, and then releasing that separately as a $40 thing or something like that. And I'd be more than happy with that being the way it is, because... I'd rather they take their time with it than rush a shitty story mode out and then everyone be disappointed.
Yeah, everyone just being something people were waiting for and then just have it be bad.
Same with the I joke about the lack of heroes and maps, but I am also very much aware that they are committing to 9-week seasons and having heroes every other season and stuff like that, where I'm like, they have probably made a lot more content in the 3 years. And they're probably holding on to it so that they can do a consistent stream of content instead of doing what Overwatch used to do, which was where you just fucking looked at the sky and you prayed that one day more content would arrive, and then once in a blue moon it did. It was
do a little dance in Tracer's honor as you hope
they're basically
bless you from the heavens.
They're basically saying, hey guys, you're getting less content, but we're promising you're not going to play the same shitty winter event every fucking year. I'm like, okay, I'll take it, dude. Because if I have to play May's Snowball Fight one more fucking year, I'm going to lose it. I've already lost enough brain cells. I don't need to lose any more. Thank you. But free-to-play is the best thing for Overwatch, probably.
Yeah.
Get more people into it. now all the confusion between, wait, you get the multiplayer with Overwatch 1 for free with Overwatch, all that shit of the terrible marketing that was Overwatch 2 has kind of been thrown out the window now that it's free, which is probably for the best. Yeah. Anyway, carry on. Sorry, I had to get my Overwatch run out.
Next thing that they touched on, Forza getting this goofy-looking Hot Wheels thing.
I love it.
It'd be fun for. Yeah, you gonna get in on that when they do it?
I have to pay for the DLC because it's not on Game Pass.
Oh, you have to pay for it? Oh.
So I'm feeling like if I do, I'm just gonna end up buying the game for real because I'm not.
Yeah.
Game Pass is great, but also I'm not buying DLC for a game that I'm renting. That doesn't seem right. So it's like,
that'd be weird.
I'll probably wait till the DLC is on sale and then buy the game and the DLC is probably how I'll do it. But yeah, it looks stupid fun. It looks like GTA races, which is like my favorite thing. People always talk about the role playing in GTA or stuff like that. My favorite thing in GTA are the stupid races where people have made like fucking sky like circuits where you're doing loop-de-loops and jumps over buildings and stuff over stupid default like textured ramps. That's my favorite stuff. And that looked like it was right up my alley. I just love how Xbox has a racer that doesn't take itself seriously and will do Lego and Hot Wheels collaborations like it's nothing and do stupid shit because it's fun.
And then they still got the other one for the people who are more into the simmy stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good little twofold thing to have.
It's the one good thing about Forza. That's what you can say is it's consistent in its releases and it's also consistent with. It's also good because it has a diverse set of games, so you don't have to be the hardcore sim fan. Or you don't have to be the arcadey kind of fan to get something that you want. Yeah. It's a win-win. You can't say that about Gran Turismo.
Nah.
That's just a lose, full stop. Hope you like paying for cars with real. Hope you like paying as much for a virtual car as a real car. My brother's been giving
me the figures on like how much it would cost to buy those with real money, and every time I'm like, oh man, I can't. It doesn't. I don't remember what it is anymore, but man, it's a lot.
It was like ridiculous, right? It was like $50 for a car or something at some point.
The thing he was telling me was that the stupid thing is like a lot of it, like a majority of it is in like 5 really expensive cars rather than like a lot of them just being
it's like
consistently expensive.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Anyway,
next up was a trailer for Scorn, the H.R. Geiger-looking horror game.
Fucking weird ass shit that game.
Oh man, dude, that game looked absurdly wet.
I skipped that.
It was how I would describe the trailer. I think it's Xbox or at least a timed exclusive. So
they can keep it, and I'm not playing it. You can fucking
keep it.
I'll have to wait. Apparently, they confirmed.
Drop my Xbox real quick. I'll just fucking chuck it.
I'll play it for you. Something they confirmed was it won't have dialogue, which in this backlog season I've been playing quite a bit of other horror games, and no dialogue. Selling point right now.
What, you telling me you don't want Timmy? You're going, oh, I'm so scared. What's this weird looking thing over here? Ah! Like that.
The Medium and Tormented Souls both had really like goofy segments of people talking, and I'm like, yeah, I can see how people would be down for a silent game. After Scorn, this was an interesting one. Flintlock Siege of the Dawn or whatever. It looked like this kind of third-person RPG.
Was this in the Skippy season where I just started skipping around the conference? Cause
it might have been. It had a little. It looked like Trico from The Last Guardian.
Oh yeah,
but it was smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So that looked like fun. It looked like a kind of third-person action. For some reason, people wanted to compare it to Forspoken and either use it as a thing to bash Forspoken or use Forspoken to bash this game. And I'm like, why you guys gotta be classic. Like this? Just enjoy this thing for what it is because it looks kind of cool.
Dude, I can't.
Forspoken also looks kind of cool.
I can't.
Don't be jerks.
I can't stand the lack of brain cells between console fanboys. Like, I can't stand it anymore. Like, genuinely.
I can't stand the lack of brain cells between anyone who wants to give criticism to something and has to default to it's like this but bad. or this is like this but better. There was this, Kotaku put an article out like maybe 2 days ago of this indie game that they were comparing to Sonic
Frontiers,
and it's the most attention that game has gotten, and the developer was like, the most is everyone discovers it, but it's all angry Sonic fans. Sad face. I'm like, oh, that sucks.
The classic.
Games are more
Kotaku
than reductive
strikes
comparison.
Again. I can't be dealing with it. And you know who the people I hate the most? I don't hate the people who are the console fanboys the most. I don't hate the actual people that sit there going Xbox better, PlayStation better. The people I hate the most are the fuckers, the fucking 30-year-olds on Twitter who have their accounts that are just this is their life, where they are literally the little central hubs of the people that are like, hi, my name's Danny Xbox and I'm only going to tweet Xbox propaganda. And I'm like, please shut the fuck up.
There's just as many
or the
Bobby
PlayStation guy, and it's like, oh, the fuck. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, I don't care. I just want to play a game. I don't care. Get a life, for fuck's sake. It's not difficult. Anyway, what else, Hunter?
After Flintlock, I started kind of fast forwarding some stuff because it was overwhelmingly uninteresting to me. The next thing I saw that was cool was The Last Case of Benedict Fox, which is this Metroidvania looking horror title that's like a Lovecraftian inspired thing. I'll be interested to look into that.
If it's not based off Dead Space, it's Lovecraftian horror, dude. That's the fucking trend right now. roll the dice.
I haven't seen a Lovecraftian horror game in like a Metroidvania style yet. So you know,
I know it's like kind of saying, oh, I just see a lot of Lovecraftian horror, like inspired stuff is like kind of basic, because of course there is, because Lovecraftian horror's had a huge influence, right? But it's like, I don't know, especially Last Generation. It's just I've seen so much of it. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, Call of Duty did this in Zombies in 2015, and they're as basic as it fucking gets. So if you're 7 years after the basic bitches have had a turn, where are you in this like pecking order? Like, you're either extremely passionate about it.
I don't know. Maybe this studio didn't exist yet.
That's what I'm saying. You're either extremely passionate about it, or you're just like, everyone else has had a crack. Why not?
Yeah,
get the tentacles out, dude. Let's go.
You know what? The more things that exist to modernize the works of Lovecraft in the weird universe he made, the better, because he was old, racist, and gross.
The more things that we can use that aren't him is the better.
Yeah. Man was scared of literally anything that wasn't inside of his like 20 square foot apartment space.
Fucking man.
Aren't we all?
Not boastful that he was. One of the next, I haven't particularly cared about Grounded yet, but it comes out of early access in September, so
I thought it was out.
Obsidian.
Obsidian makes like 6 million games a year, so Obsidian is Xbox's Insomniac.
See, right after that, they showed another game from Obsidian called Pentiment, which was this, it seems to be taking place in like the colonial era kind of segment of history, and it's got this funky art style.
It's a bold move. We'll see if it pays off.
Yeah, it's got this funky art style. Like it looks kind of like something you'd see an indie game do.
Yeah.
I don't really remember what the details of what you were actually doing are.
Like I say, they're very much like the Insomniac.
Seeing this game get announced, and it's apparently supposed to come out this year, I'm like, does Avowed even exist anymore?
So what about the Outer Worlds 2?
Bethesda acquisition cancel it?
No, probably not. Like I say, Insomniac.
It's just a funny joke because they've showed the one.
This is like a smaller project. It's like Insomniac had these, like it had like that submarine game and stuff like that, where they make a load of small projects as well. So I say fair play. They can do what they want. I'm not interested in that game at all, but hey, it looks cool. I'm sure some people will enjoy it.
It looks like it could be neat. I'd be interested to see what people think of it. The next thing of note was I skipped through Diablo. My older brother watched part of it and then checked out when they were like open world.
Yeah.
Oh, they're doing open world with Diablo? I didn't even know that because I skipped through it.
Yeah, I skipped through it too. I had to get this information through a text message. It was hilarious.
How to turn me off of a video game. Open world. Bye. Okay.
The next thing that they showed was like one of my favorite things at this show. Erebon Shadow Legacy is this it's like a stealth action game where you like meld into the shadows, and that's like how you traverse and hide from people.
I saw that.
It looked really cool. Like, imagine, a game like Assassin's Creed, but with an actual like mechanic to build your ways to be sneaky around. What a novel concept. I'm super interested in this game.
At least back in the day, they at least tried to be an Assassin's game. Dude. Now they're just like, yo, guys, you want to be a fucking Viking? We mean Assassin Viking.
Yeah.
Sneak and pillage, off you go. Because everyone knows that the Vikings were very graceful and elegant with the way that they invaded. No one saw them coming as they charged down the fucking hills, screaming.
Yeah. Shortly after that, there was a trailer for this game called Ravenlock, which aesthetically reminded me kind of like Coraline or something. Mm-hmm. It looks like a kind of like one of those smaller scale beat 'em up action RPG kind of things. Mm-hmm. Similar, like I played this game Lost in Random last year that kind of evoked that, except that was like card based.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested in seeing that when it comes. And then after that, it was Xbox finally found Japan.
Hooray!
With Team Ninja making a high octane action game or something called Wo Long Fallen Dynasty. Looks neat. And then they announced Persona coming to Xbox.
I have feelings.
I'm never speaking. Hi, I'm never fucking opening my mouth ever again.
Yeah. Persona 5 Royal, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 3
Portable. On your portable Xbox One.
I just want to say, for the first part, I'm fucking dumb, right? Because it's like, what quickest way to lose $100 challenge, dude? Like, genuinely, well done on that one. Like, I should have just fucking said I'd quit the show. It would have been cheaper. So no,
I didn't have to do that. By the way, there's no Godfall harassing me at all. For what that's
so I've
worth.
decided, because it's on Game Pass, I have decided that I will be buying more copies of the game, but I'm already going to be buying the PS5 and version already. So I've decided that I will download the game on Game Pass, buy it on Steam and on PlayStation 5. So I will still end up spending 100 fucking quid again on Persona 5 Royal, but there we go. Anyway, yeah, I will do it, and I'll post proof. Although you don't need proof of me buying Persona 5, kids, because you knew it was going to happen anyway.
Yeah,
I did not
Even
think
if he didn't
Atlas...
make this bet, he would have started like scratching his arm after they released and be like, I need it.
I don't understand. Like, I didn't think that Atlas would find another way for me to play. Like, when I played Persona 5, felt sad because I'm like, never gonna have that experience again. Played Royal, I'm like, okay, that was new and exciting. But that's the version of the game I'm going to be playing forever. Never going to have that experience again. And now they're doing a next-gen upgrade that'll probably be in 4K and 60 FPS. And now I'm like, how many times are you going to make me have this fucking crisis? Where I'm like, is this the last time now? Am I safe? Is the PS5 version the last version I'll be playing? Or is this Skyrim, where I'm going to get it every 5 years? Like, what is this?
Just wait for it to come to the Switch and it runs at 20 FPS.
I'll buy it there too. We'll wait for that direct.
When we're in our 40s, we'll be getting the Persona 5 Remake trilogy.
But no, I'm super excited and hyped that we're going to be getting a next-gen version of Persona 5. That's sick. And the fact that Xbox gets it too is awesome. I feel it's very weird that they hid it. They hid the PlayStation and Steam versions for 48 hours. That was weird.
It's perplexing. But,
usually it's just on the conference they don't mention it, but in the trailers...
Yeah.
On the Twitter, they say everything, but they waited 48 whole hours and didn't kept everyone in the dark. It's very weird.
I'm glad that I'll have a console to be able to play Persona 4 on the next time I feel like it, instead of dusting off the Vita. I'm glad that there will be some form of way to play a version of Persona 3.
I literally, I'm playing through Persona 3 Fez now because that trailer confirmed to me that fine, I own Persona 3. I'm just going to finally get off my ass and just load the mod up that lets me play as the party members and just play it through on like 5 times XP. Because I'm like,
Dude,
we're never getting a remake of 3, at least not anytime soon, so I might as well just play it now.
Dude, when I tested that mod for you and I got party control, I felt completely different. I'm like, this just is amazing. I wish the game was just like this normally.
It's an interesting choice, but at the same time, in my head anyway, it makes sense because you want the game with party control and you don't want to spend 2 seconds adding a mod that someone else has already made for your game into the ROM. But I get it. And like I say, hopefully, especially Golden's PC port's fantastic, so I'm expecting a great 60 FPS. Maybe even 4K.
Hopefully, like output. That experience slider that you can play.
That'll be there. It'll be a port for Steam version, 100%. So that XP slider will be. Maybe it'll be there in portable as well. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Was like, I hope that exists there because I'm just gonna play
and it'll have a trophy list, so I'll definitely play through it whether I like it or not.
And I'm just gonna put on as many cheat codes as possible because
But it's a great
easy mode, max EXP. Let's go.
Yeah.
But no, it's a great win for everybody, really, because Phil finally gets Persona on Xbox, which is something he's been trying to get for fucking years. Which is, I think that's the reason Phil came out, which is very weird. I feel like it's very weird for all the sections to come out. Phil comes out for the Japan section, and I feel like it's because his two dreams were getting Kojima to make an Xbox game and getting Persona on the fucking platform. So I feel like he basically came out just to do his victory lap of finally got something out of Japan.
Kojima was up next, by the way, and he basically showed up via screen.
Microsoft Teams to say, making a game. See you later. Hang up.
Yeah, no trailer or anything, which is good news for me because that means I've got plenty of time to get an Xbox.
But no, it's good. It's a good announcement. And like
PlayStation fans are so stupid that Kojima Productions had to, in the next couple of days, confirm that their working relationship with Sony is still good.
Leaked that they're doing Death Stranding 2. They're probably just doing 2 games, one for Xbox, one for Sony. Who would have fucking thought?
Who would have thought?
But Ethan, critical thinking is hard.
It is. It's true. But no, great win for Xbox. And then it's great that finally the months of molding at the Persona 25th anniversary year have finally ended for at least now, because we know that we're getting remasters of 3, 4, and 5, and we assume that 6 will be announced in October. So win for everybody.
Yeah,
I
and then the show closed with Starfield.
Yeah,
which I watched maybe 3 minutes of there.
I'm very hesitant on Starfield after watching that,
and I couldn't be bothered.
Thousands of Planets does nothing for me, and I'm just like, I want a great Bethesda game, but Bethesda was never... The community made Bethesda games, not Bethesda making the community in a lot of ways. It very much was the sandbox and the mods and everything about, Skyrim or Fallout that made Skyrim and Fallout. And it's like, the community's going to be there, but I feel like, especially if it's going to be an exclusive to Xbox, you need that game to have the spark to get people to want to get a console for it. And it's like, it's going to be very hard. It's still going to do amazingly well on Steam and on PC. But from a console perspective, this needs to be a fucking banger. And I don't know if it will be. It also
seems like this game that, actually, after the trailer, it seems like people are kind of split on it as far as who cares about it and who's like, But Xbox themselves are talking it up like it's
the next evolution.
They're talking it up like how everything was talking up Cyberpunk,
which is never a good comparison.
No.
Well, I don't believe that Starfield will be as bad as Cyberpunk will launch. I feel like what Starfield is going to be is probably what Cyberpunk would have been if it didn't launch broken, and that was an open world RPG that was okay.
We'll see. I'm hoping for the best. It's just like I say. To me, it looked too much like Fallout, which was like, I was excited. I was like, oh, it's like, this is the third branch of Bethesda now. You know, you'll have Fallout, you'll have Skyrim. I said Skyrim. Oh God, the Bethesda fans are going to kill me. You have Elder Scrolls.
Get over it.
You have Fallout.
It's the only one they've had for 10 years.
And then they have Starfield, which I thought was going to be this new thing, but it's looking a lot more like sci-fi Fallout than something new. And that's what kind of makes me sad. Because Fallout didn't have great gunplay. So I'm like, oh, we're just doing this again.
The thing that made Fallout's combat kind of interesting was their VATS.
It looks more like,
present in any form here, so it's just kind of a basic shooter.
Especially because Fallout is an apocalypse. It's a very barren world with very few communities of people that you encounter. And Starfield looks like a massive system of planets where only a few are inhabited and the rest of them are barren wastelands. And I'm like, I really hope there's something that makes Starfield and doesn't just make me go, oh, it's just Bethesda's take on a sci-fi game if they did this instead of this is like Fallout 5 in a way, where it just feels like they've taken a lot of Fallout and moved it into a different setting.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm still optimistic. I'll still play it on day one, because of course I will. But the gameplay demo didn't do anything for me personally. It made me more hesitant than excited. But overall, I really enjoyed the show. I thought it was pretty great, especially for Xbox compared to previous years. And I'm still pissed
I think
at
it was
Persona.
it was their better. It's been one of their better shows in the past couple of years. Better than the last year for sure. And the year before, did they do something? They did do stuff in the summer the year before, even though E3 wasn't around.
Yeah, they did.
I don't think it was very good. I think that's when people started crying about Halo.
Something about that. That was the year before
never
last.
Change.
Some things never change indeed. In terms of Xbox bets, let's just do these quickly. Todd Howard will say 3 over-exaggerated things about Starfield. Of course he fucking did.
1,000 planets.
Over 1,000 planets. The next generation in open world RPGs. There was plenty of fucking obligatory bullshit things. At least 5 Game Pass reveals Ethan will consider decent. There was plenty. If anything, I think there was less than 5 that I didn't think were decent, so fair play to that one. Redfall will look underwhelming. Yes, very big.
This is the most lame-looking vampires I've seen in anything since Twilight.
Yeah. At least 3 unexpected announcements for releases on Xbox. I said no. The answer was yes. Those were 3, 4, and 5 from Persona. No, I'm kidding. There were plenty. But Persona alone was 3 entries. Phil Spencer will say best place to play. He didn't. 2 Activision games will show up at the event. None of us said anything, but the answer was yes, because Diablo and Overwatch showed up.
Yeah.
Banjo returns. I said no, I get 8 points because I'm a fucking Chad. Let's go. And that's it. So that's the Xbox show. Done. Okay. Let's wrap it up, because that took way longer than I thought it would. Because it always does. We always think, oh, that'll be half a show, and then it takes an hour.
Yeah.
You know. But oh well. We wait for the inevitable Nintendo thing to show up, hopefully.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll just have to talk about Final Fantasy VII for a bit to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the Battle Royale or...
The Battle Royale. Which one is that called? Is that Ever Crisis?
The First Soldier.
The First Soldier is the
First
Battle
Soldier.
Royale.
Oh, jeez.
Ever Crisis is the mobile Final Fantasy VII remake, I think.
Yeah, okay. I knew that there were 2 mobile games, and I knew one was the weird Battle Royale.
Dude.
And the other one was... the Ever Crisis one, I guess, is a decent way to at least put all of the content of Final Fantasy VII's.
It's not just 7 though, is it?
It's like all of it.
Yeah,
it's like all of it. So say if you were someone who played the remake and that was your first exposure to it, and you wanted to know everything that happened, I guess this is a good way to do it, or a decent way to do it, short of porting everything. or remaking it.
They've
or
already
whatever.
ported basically everything, like literally.
I don't know.
With obviously with Crisis Core, they literally 7's already ported, and like all they need to do is just hand a DVD out for fucking Advent Children, and then they're done. It's like it's not hard.
I don't know. There's no Dirge of Cerberus yet.
Oh, true. I forgot about Dirge, but so
Where
did
are
everybody
you?
else.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
The world wasn't ready for you yet, Dirge of Cerberus.
I honestly, part of me thinks that if they remake it, it'll actually be pretty good.
But anyway, what were we saying? We were saying something. Yeah, First Soldier very much looks fucking shite.
Yeah.
But no, that Ever Crisis, I mean, I think it's just, I'm like, that's fine. And it's kind of...
Yeah, it's inoffensive. Like I said, it's a good thing for people who want the info.
I think it's kind of cute, to be honest, to be like, oh,
yeah.
The game was janky and polygony as fuck, so let's just make little chibi, like, polygony looking models and just carry on with that kind of style and just kind of... You were asking for a faithful remake. Literally, they're literally making them the same fucking bobbleheads, so have fun with that.
Yeah.
I don't have any harm in it.
I'm not going to look at it, but,
no.
You know.
It's neat.
It's fine.
So I guess the big two things that we want to talk about are the remaster of Crisis Core. Very specifically remaster. Which now I guess begs the question, and we're back on the game industry question of what's a fucking remaster and what's a remake again.
I don't know. It's a pretty big glow up. It looks like the assets were overdone or overhauled. And I am curious to see what kind of chicanery is going to happen, if any.
I think none.
You don't think they're going to do anything?
I think the game itself will be the exact same, and I think if you get anything, I think it'll be a Nomura-ass move to have a post-credit scene that links to the new stuff.
Yeah.
But I think everything up until the credits will be the exact same story. I don't know what that story is, mind you.
Neither do I, really. I know two scenes from this game, and it's a part in the middle where Sephiroth fights the dude that's wearing my clothes, and and then the ending.
I don't even know the ending. I know nothing about it, so I'm looking forward to it quite a bit. But it is a glow up. Like I'm like, well, I can still tell really it doesn't look as it doesn't look as good as Remake. And there's a bit the animations are a bit jank, but it's still.
I'll just be pleased to be able to play this game.
Yeah,
I'll be happy to be able to play this game on something that isn't the PSP.
Yeah, that's most of it.
Yeah.
But no, it is interesting because when they did that, I was like, "Oh, is that? Oh my, your dog's like, I'm gonna jump.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna do it. Oh,
she's thinking about it.
Oh, audio listeners, you're gonna have a ball here. Oh, she's gonna do it. Oh, you're gonna remove the thud. It's nothing without the. Oh, it's not happening.
Aww.
Anyway, Crisis Core.
She had a change of heart.
Change of heart.
Yeah. So, and people really like Crisis Core too.
Yeah.
I imagine like a lot of that has to do with the fact that I think it came out in like 2007. So, people really enjoyed Zack in that game. Hi, dog. Because that was like Cloud's peak of being portrayed as the most sad motorcycle enthusiast ever. And Zack was a nice change of pace from that.
Dude, all week on Twitter, I've just been seeing out-of-context clips of Zack from this game, and it's just fantastic. I love this guy, and I don't even know him.
I don't know that much about him, honestly. Like, I know his original role in the first version of 7, and that's about
that's
it.
The extent of what I know.
But now, I think it looks interesting. I'm waiting to see the price on it. I'm like... I'll see if I pick it up straight away.
It's on PS4 and Switch and stuff. I imagine they'll probably just be like,
full price
60.
that bad. That's
Yeah.
So I might not play it straight away, especially as there'll be a whole year gap between that and Rebirth, so I have time.
That was something I was.
But I'm shocked that
are you actually going to play it, or you?
Because I
know that
will.
You didn't want to know anything about 7 outside of what's already known. So,
but at the same time, Crisis Core is a prequel. So it's like
it is.
I think
Zach's going to be more important than he was in the original version of the game.
I think the reason that they're releasing this is because they realize that more people than they thought are playing 7 Remake for the first time without playing 7. And I think this is like oh shit, let's give them the backstory for the character that's going to be more important than they were in the original.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's my guess anyway. And like I say, I'm perfectly happy with playing it. Like, I'm not, especially with, we'll get to Rebirth in a second, right? I'm not particularly opposed to playing through the original 7. I probably will play through the original 7 someday. But it's just, it doesn't interest me. I'm not that, like, if I'm going to play through some of the events in Remake, then I'd rather play through it that way and experience it that way than play through the PS1 game.
Just wait till after, that way it's a whole
So Crisis Core to me is different. Like, if someone says now to me, wait, Crisis Core spoils massive things from the original 7, which I would be very surprised if a prequel fucking did that.
That'd be crazy.
Then I'm more than happy to play it and give it a try. Just maybe not for full price, because, like I say, I don't know why. I'm just like, I'm not fully into paying full price for it at the moment, because I don't really, it's like I say, it's supplementary. Of course, I'll buy fucking...
Game Pass has spoiled you.
No, it hasn't, because I'll buy Rebirth on day one and be like, yes, give me my copy. Time for the wild ride.
Please.
But like I say, I think for the most part, this is going to be a very basic remaster. They're calling it a remaster in the press, which to me suggests it's going to be the exact same game. They're not changing shit. So
yeah, but also I feel like the industry can't get what those two words mean straight.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
like,
but I
wouldn't
feel
be
like
shocked
Square
either way
can,
is the thing.
because Square, like Kingdom Hearts 0, like 1.5 was a remaster, you know.
Yeah.
They didn't really add anything to it. Like I say, if they do, it'll be like Melody of Memory, where there's a cutscene at the end that links it.
Slated for this winter, so that could be December, January, or February.
Yeah, they might confirm what Zach's place in Rebirth is. Is it still flashbacks? Is he actually alive? What's going on? That's like, maybe they'll give a tease to that.
All of those questions.
All those questions. But let's get into the meaty thing. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Not Remake Part 2, as much as people want to. I love that it's got a different name, to be honest. It's great.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
Yeah.
Because the first one was the remake. Are we putting bets down? I'm putting bets down on Rewritten. I don't know why, but I feel like I honestly feel like it's going to be rewritten, because something the big thing that changes the story happens in this one. So in Part 3, that's when it'll be all new finale. So I feel like Rewritten would work. But I've seen
if Crisis Core wasn't using Reunion,
that is exactly what I was thinking.
Same here.
But I don't know anymore. I've liked all the meme things I've seen, like people saying Revengeance and stuff like that.
Recycle.
Recycled. Reduced. Reused.
Recycled.
Yeah.
But no, it'll be interesting. Because there's, again, the trailer very much didn't confirm anything, but it left, again, it was just like the ending of Final Fantasy VII Remake and the ending of Intermission. It has left us with more questions than answers than what we need, really. Because you can assume that those scenes with Sephiroth walking are, I've had this semi-spoiled, the flashback scenes from the original game.
Yeah. The flashback to Nibelheim.
Yeah. So those are probably them. And then you have the scene of Zack and Cloud again, which is again, like what's happening
knows what
with
that
Who knows? Like, I can't wait to find out, though.
But yeah, I guess the main thing that I'm looking forward to and I'm hoping for, if we're talking about like I'm hoping they're going all in, which from the looks of it they are, where it's like,
yeah, I believe
it's no longer a remake. It's going down its own path, which I think is cool. I think you'll still have the characters that show up. You'll still have bits and pieces.
Yeah, you'll still have the characters. You'll still have things that happened, I'm sure.
I mean, the big question
they've
is,
already referenced.
You know what the big question is
Yeah.
we all know
what are they gonna do with that part?
Spoilers for the original Final Fantasy VII. We know nothing. I know nothing except the one scene that literally every fucker probably knows. So if you don't know about the one spoiler from Final Fantasy VII, tune off now.
Kudos to you.
Kudos to you. Fucking
Congratulations.
I told you guys about the story of my friend being spoiled by Robert Pattinson, right?
Yeah.
Great anecdote. But yeah, so obviously with Aerith dying, I don't know what because that's going to happen in the second part. Where that scene would happen,
it
has got to
where
happen.
that scene is, because they also confirmed it's a trilogy.
They've confirmed it's a trilogy.
Too.
So it's happening in part 2.
So
because if it happens in part 3, we're fucked because they're going to go for a real rush at the end of
God.
Aerith dies, and quickly we've now got 20 hours to tell the entirety of the fucking last two-thirds to a half of Final Fantasy VII. Run.
Now someone get the part where Cloud goes snowboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting. With it being confirmed as a trilogy, because before we didn't know, so I don't know.
We assumed it was a trilogy.
Yeah, well, before I assumed
5,
it was a
I was
trilogy,
fuck.
I was like, I wouldn't have been shocked if they tried to stretch it to 5, because Square.
I think a lot of people did because of how much Midgard was.
Yeah, because of how much Midgard was, but also I don't know. There's things in Disc 2 that I feel like don't need to be there, or could be, or Disc 2, a lot of it was just optional stuff anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I say, it's going to be weird because obviously the 7 Remake series has a much weird ways of phrasing it, but they're much more linear experiences than, say, a regular Final Fantasy, right? It's very much extremely linear. There are parts where there's side quests. There's specific chapters where there are side quests in a contained area, but there's no real. Okay, here's a massive desert map. Off you go explore it. And I don't see that changing because from the short gameplay that we saw, it was extremely linear again.
I could see chapter 3 being the kind of here's the open field that had the one chocobo place and the marsh with the snake and some side quests to do there.
Mm.
I could see them doing something like that and still having a lot of the story progression be more linear.
It's there's so many questions, right? Because it's are they going from minute one of this game? From this game, from minute one, are they going? Nothing's the same, bits and pieces, and where they're going is, but everything's. Or are we going to do what I think they're going to do, which is this gradual change where we're still following the path, but stuff starts to deviate and characters start to.
Mm.
Obviously, Big still being alive is going to play a part of it in some way, shape, or form at some point, whether it's in part 2 or when they return to Midgar later, when you assume that, right? It's there's a lot of stuff that's going to differ. Same with Jesse, and where there's hints that Jesse's still alive.
I forget
as well.
if we talked about the theory on the podcast that Zach is going to buddy up with the people who
we did. It was a part of our
dead.
Intermission spoiler cast. But
I really like that theory. Dude, if you get to play as Zach in certain chapters with Jesse and Biggs and Wedge, that'd be cool.
Cool.
Yeah, imagine Zach and Jesse interacting.
Oh my God.
That pleases me just thinking about.
Too much tension, dude. Too much tension is all I'm going to say on that one.
She was already she was already desiring Cloud, and I feel like Zach would actually, give some of the attention back.
It's genuinely, I'm just sitting there with this, and I'm looking forward to it. Don't get me wrong, I'm so excited to see where this goes and where they change it. But it's also I'm just what are they gonna do? Will Aerith still die? If she doesn't die there, will she die later? What's going to happen?
It'll be interesting.
What are the shippers on Twitter going to do? That's what what wars are going to break out? That's my thing is, what is going to happen to all those Tifa fans if Aerith survives this franchise?
Dude, I think...
Will they die? Will they... like, what is going to happen?
I think the...
Will their online personalities just decease? Will they be, like, dead? Will it be like a Twitter graveyard?
I think Square Enix's biggest troll job that they could do is somehow match up Cloud and Aeris together while giving Zack and Tifa a relationship out of nowhere. That would do things to people psychologically that I'd be very amused to witness.
Oh, that'd be funny.
It'd be so good.
It'd be awkward. I assume. I don't know. Is Zack still alive? I feel like there'd be a very
that's a big question mark.
Sweet moment if those two reunited, right? But it's also like, will that happen? Are they just baiting everybody? Are they just baiting the shippers? That's all I want to know. Is I'm just like, are there people that are going to become depressed from this trilogy?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
They already are. They're already molding that it's not a remake, you know?
Yeah,
but it's
if not because of the content of the story actually resonating with them, they're going to be real sad because it's not the game that they played in 97.
Dude, it's just, you know what the internet's like, dude. You know that the people that have been living on the defense for 20 years of Aerith dying and being like, oh, well, that's why Tifa and Cloud are there. Like, that's why I love Tifa and Cloud, because they end up, like, I'm just imagining they're like, just
because the plot killed the other one.
Yeah, because the plot killed the other one. Yeah. But it's just like, oh god, I can just imagine the fucking moldiness though. Like, dude, genuinely, like
imagine like Xenoblade and thinking that Fiora would be better because they hypothetically killed Melia or something.
No, the other I'd live in the other world, to be honest, where Fiora died and Melia.
I know.
I'd live in that world. I'd happily take it. Thank you very much. All my homies hate Fiora. No, but it's like, I don't know. There's just so many questions, dude. Like, what is Sephiroth's new goal? Like, what is anything?
Time.
Yeah. What if Sephiroth's the good guy, dude? Like, what if Sephiroth's like...
We've been the bad guys this whole
back
time.
on course. I can't wait. And the fact that it will be holiday of next year, winter next year, so December, January, February is exciting. We're 16...
It's probably not gonna happen, but imagine a year, like imagine like a calendar year where 3 Final Fantasy games come out, like Crisis Core in like February, 16 in the summer, and then
I honestly think
7 Remake in winter.
I genuinely do think it's possible. I genuinely do think it's possible.
Yeah.
The early 2024 for the Rebirth wouldn't be a bad spot for it either. Like, yeah.
Wasn't January Remake's original spot before it had to be delayed? A couple of months?
I think so.
I can see them going back for that spot. I don't think...
It'd be a good spot. You dominate a lot of the... Well, it's hard to know for sure because, that's a year out. But I imagine even then you'd still dominate a lot of the conversation.
It's just crazy to me because it's like, you have Forspoken, then you have Crisis Core, then you have 16, then you have 7 Part 2. And it's like, Square is packed for literally the next year and a half. And this isn't even including Kingdom Hearts. And it's like, holy shit. They're about to, if Kingdom Hearts comes out in 2024 as well, they are genuinely going to have like a big couple of years.
Yeah, it'd be like the same kind of hot streak that Capcom has been on for a while, assuming that like all of these games perform the way you'd want them to.
Mm-hmm. Which, to be fair, like we were talking
I feel like
about,
they're gonna be good.
We talked about the Square ditching the Western studios, and everyone was like, bit weird. Maybe they want to be going for an acquisition, but also like, to be honest, if they're sitting there in their internal calendar going, we have 3 Final Fantasy games Forspoken and a Kingdom Hearts coming out in the span of 2 years, they also probably don't care about money. They're probably just sitting there like, we probably don't need to make shitty Marvel games and some Tomb Raiders. Like, we probably don't need them. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy.
They still got Life is Strange to shop out to Don't Nod or Deck 9 whenever they want.
Life is Strange and Just Cause. Wow.
Got Just Cause.
So epic IPs.
I think do they still have Outriders too?
Probably. They'd probably give someone, if you asked for Outriders, if we asked for Outriders, they'd probably give it us at this stage.
It's too bad I don't want it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. So I made a joke. I mentioned Dirge of Cerberus earlier, but earlier this week I made a joke about how that's going to be their little remake thing that they do. It's the stopgap in between part 2 and 3.
Wouldn't be surprised if that's the intermission that they do.
Yeah.
It'd be... The weird thing would be it happens after 7, so if they completely overhauled it, because they've already put some of the characters in it, in like Yuffie's thing.
Yeah.
So, just, I don't know, Vincent going on little mercenary missions, murdering those guys. That'd be cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if Vincent gets introduced in part 2, I wouldn't be surprised if the DLC was him as like a prequel beforehand, and they work with timelines and have, because those characters are now because they're in intermission, they're now in this universe, so they kind of like shift stuff around to make like something that isn't Dirge of Cerberus, but is inspired by it to make a new story that takes place in the timeline. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a thing. Cool. But like I say, it will be interesting because it's like part 1 to me. Everything that I knew about Final Fantasy VII was in part 1 because I only knew the start of it. I only knew about the dresses and the honeybee inn and stuff like that. And the first couple of hours, the fall of Sector 7 and stuff like that. I only knew small bits and pieces.
Most of what I know is in that part too. Like even after I played the copy on the PSP that I had for a little bit because I had a save that was most of the way through disc 1. And I got to like the beginning of disc 2 and there was this little mountain, blizzardy mountain navigation puzzle, and I'm like, I think it's time to play something else now. They can keep that part, or they can get rid of that part for part 2.
But now, for like...
Keep the snowboarding section, just make it a one and done.
Yeah.
But no, I do hope, for as much as the story goes crazy and it goes in these, I do still hope that it does have those moments that made 7 Remake Part 1, at least to me, is special, which isn't necessarily, I loved the stupid shit at the end where it went all crazy and the rules were broken, but I just want those moments. I want those character interactions.
I think the heart of it was that the character...
was really good.
The characters were really
they were
good.
more fleshed out than they were
and just
the
how
original.
Like, for example, chapter 9 is one of my favorite chapters in the game, the War Market section, just because of all the characters that are introduced, and they are all like fantastic, and just like I love like everything about it. The honeybee instant is fucking great. That could have literally been on paper, that should have been the worst, like most tragic thing to try and remake and try and frame it in a good way. They could have done. Square Enix were probably expected to do such a shit job at that, but it's fucking fantastic and it's one of the best parts of the game. And it's like, I just hope it still has that charm and personality, and I really hope that, especially with the original characters, and especially because Tifa and Barrett are still a part of the game as you carry on, but on the original, they lose a bit. They lose
some of their
a part of it. And I'm just hoping that, and it sounds like it because obviously Tifa's talking in the trailer and it's talking about stuff like that. You're hoping that they're going to carry on because people love those characters so much. I assume they will continue to do that. If anything, there's a part of me that's like, if you can keep adding the party members if you want, but I'd almost like the cast to just stay refined and just like, it's one of my few, like, Final Fantasy 16, we've not seen the cast yet, but I'm like, yo guys, here's a little hint for JRPGs. If you keep, oh look, it's dog cam, keep the viewers. A smaller, tight-knit, like, group of characters that are well-defined is way better than a fucking group of 10 fuckers that I hardly know.
Tales of Arise was one of the best RPG parties I've played in a long time, and it was 6 people, all with really good dynamics with each combination of person.
Yeah. Or what I've always said, which I hope they do, which is split the characters up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give like certain people certain things.
The gameplay was built on 3 people, so it'd be very easy. If you're going to introduce new people, have Cloud and, like, okay, so Cloud and Tifa will spend some time with Vincent or whatever in a mission, and then simultaneously on another mission, you've got Barrett and Aerith with Kate Sith or whatever, Cat Sith. It's like, okay, you've got stuff happening.
You could even
right?
stretch it to 4 with like how they got Red 13 showing up as a guest slot.
I wouldn't be surprised if Cat Sith is in that guest slot, to be honest. I would not be shocked.
Yeah.
Because it'd be very weird to swap to the D-pad and you're playing as a fucking cat, It's like
a cat controlling a big Moogle toy.
I feel like they may be on the Red 13 kind of button of do the thing.
Yeah, just do a thing every now and then.
But no, it will be interesting. I'm very much looking forward to it. I hope it doesn't get delayed to oblivion. I don't think it will. But
no.
Nah, I think if it gets pushed, it doesn't get pushed out of 2024.
No. I say if anything, it'll have the delay that the original did from January to April, probably.
Yeah.
Something like that. But that's where it's exciting. Sorry, we're just audio listeners, we're just distracted by the dog. She's just sitting on Hunter's lap for context.
Yeah.
Bless her. Anyway. Let us know what you guys think about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and how you are looking forward to it or not. If you hate Final Fantasy VII Remake because they're changing it and it's not the exact game, let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
At least the other version's still on the store for you.
Yeah. There's literally 7 million ways to play Final Fantasy VII, so at least you've got that, right? And hey, maybe if you bitch hard enough, maybe when in another 10 years they'll do the Final Fantasy VII actual remake. Who knows?
Yeah.
The Final Fantasy VII D-make, and it's just HD 2D.
Oh, I'd love that.
I'd play that, unironically.
I honestly think that they will do all the classic Final Fantasies probably at some point in HD 2D, like properly.
Boy, I sure hope so.
Man.
We'll see.
That'd be great.
Pixel Remaster sure was ugly.
Yeah.
I'd love any kind of way to play like the older games that aren't 6, since I've already played that one.
No, fair enough.
I'll play 6 again too, to be fair.
I would also play 6 again. I've thought about
they could remake 6
again.
however they want, though. Like, they could do the HD 2D thing, they could make it a more action RPG kind of thing, like 7 Remake is. Maybe don't make it a whole series of remakes.
Yeah.
But, they could do
Can't
whatever
wait for
they
the
want
3
with that
parts
one.
of Final Fantasy 9, guys. Can't wait for that.
Oh, baby. I don't think you need to change that much about that story, to be honest.
I feel like this kind of experiment is a one and done. I feel like they can't go and do this with...
I don't think they can do this with every game in the series.
I feel like this is very much a subverting expectations, like a one kind of... Almost like a final swan song to Final Fantasy VII of, look, here we go, we're doing something to kind of celebrate the quote-unquote most beloved kind of Final Fantasy from people, right? And it's like, this is the celebration.
So here's the whole anthology of Final Fantasy VII. Here's Crisis Core, here's Advent Children, here's Dirge of Cerberus, fingers crossed. I don't know why I shills. I've never played Dirge of Cerberus.
Neither have I, and I'm sure if I did, it would be like the most shoulder-shruggy game I've ever played. It would be the most
average video game.
Don't worry,
because it's like a random third-person shooter. But the thing is, like, the idea of it with in the PS2 era, it was very hard to make a third-person shooter cool any further than what Max Payne did with the cool bullet time stuff. In today's era, you could actually make like a cool, action game with Vincent.
Yeah.
That's that's like, 5 or 6 hours. And probably double that because Square doesn't know when to stop.
Hooray, Square Enix.
But hey. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's exciting times. And I like I say, when we originally thought Remake was coming out, we didn't even think we'd get a good game, never mind something that would subvert expectations this much and get people this excited for it.
Yeah.
I remember when I heard that they were splitting it into parts, I was like, this is fucking stupid. Like, this is pointless. Why are they doing it?
That was also, like, they made that announcement at the peak of, like, the episodic game craze that...
Yeah.
That was a bad time to say it, because the term episodic just kind of
if this was their original
if
intent, it makes a lot more sense looking back on it, but it's also, like... that game was lined up to fail, and it somehow didn't, so...
Yeah.
Gotta appreciate it any way you can. But anyway, I guess we'll leave it there for this week.
Yeah.
I've got nothing else to
can.
Yeah. But hey, there you go. As always, our links are on screen right now. So you can go and follow us on Twitter if you want to keep up to date with everything that we are doing outside of the show. I don't know. I've got to start prepping for 1545, which is cringe again, because I don't know why I'm doing that.
Oh no.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe you'll see me stream like once a month again when I play Crash 2 and cry. But don't expect too much. Don't expect too much from me. But if you don't want to watch me cry, that's cool too. You can just go and follow us on Twitter at HotGamersOnly, or subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/HotGamersOnly. And hey, if you don't want to look at our stupid faces, that's cool too. Just search for Hot Gamers Only on your favourite podcast service, or head to the link tree in the description where you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it, we're on it. So yeah, just go ahead and check it out. That's all for this week, I guess. Oh no, she's not happy. Okay, we'll do another half an hour. I'm sorry, I know.
Oh god.
I know, we set a 2-hour standard.
She just gets very sometimes she gets really enchanted by hands. Like she used to just straight up bark at me. Yeah.
You can tell it's Hunter's dog.
Dog is weird.
You can tell it's Hunter's dog. Look, trained it to kill already. Like, look at that. Oh, can you believe the guy in the fucking trench coat's taught his dog to fucking bite at any hand that she sees?
That would be a really funny scene in a game or movie where this dude in the edgy trench coat rolls up with a really small dog being attack.
Yeah. I don't know what you're on about. Sounds like every anime to me. But anyway. We'll be back same place, same time, same place. Jesus, I said that the wrong way. Oh my god. Next week for more. Except Hunter won't be here. Cal won't be here, sorry. Cal's away next week, so...
Good old family's coming to visit.
Well, you have fun.
So I am away.
And we'll have fun without you.
Hooray.
Not playing AI this Somnium Files because it's delayed in Europe feels bad. Anyway.
Poor Europe. Jail.
Not playing Fire Emblem Warriors because it's bad.
Spoilers. Who knows? I didn't give it a proper chance. Maybe I'll play the demo again. Anyway. We'll be back next week regardless, with whatever we talk about. But until then, have an awesome week. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.